Brought to you by our sponsors: William Richmond Inc., Farmers Home and Auto Insurance, the Bob Koski Agency, R.E. Graves Heating and Air Conditioning, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, McNeil's Group Properties, the Charleston Senior Community, and Chesapeake's Bounty. Now, here's a weather alert update from JB Weather.
And good morning, everyone. I am Forecaster John Bordash with you this morning to give you a weather alert update here, sitting right after 7 o'clock, sitting at 7:04, and it is continuing to be a busy morning. I think this is the third weekend or fourth weekend in a row we're doing this, so welcome in. We are here. We've started light coverage, I think, at like 3 o'clock this morning, and we are continuing to keep this going. I'm currently showing you radar, and actually what I think I want to do is get you in with what I want to do, I think, is bring it over. Let's really get into radar here. Here we go. So taking a look at things, let's just get radar to where we currently stand. Pink represents that freezing rain. So you will not notice a difference between freezing rain and rain. It will all look the same as it falls. Okay, good. My microphone's on. I wanted to make sure. And I see Beth is reporting the first drops have started falling in Lesby, and that does make sense with kind of what we're seeing here. Again, radar's picking up on this freezing rain that's really kind of taken over St. Mary's County for the most part, and then we're going to see this, continue. I mean, we've seen this move in over. Early in the morning, it was moving into Westmoreland County, into St. Mary's. Now this is really starting to take off here, and I think we're going to really start to increase coverage of freezing rain and really start to see things kind of escalate as the morning goes on. So I think we are still game on and kind of like on par with the forecast we saw moving forward. What you can notice, and what I do want to point out here with radar, is you can see immediate coastal communities. Radar tries to paint as just areas of normal rain. So we'll see if that continues. If it does, that is good news, but it's going to be really hard to kind of tell the difference between what's falling and what's not falling. We have no current reports of freezing rain across the area. An amazing app to download would be the MPing app. That's MPING, and I can get that up on my phone so I can show you. So this is what that would look like, and I think it's a little hard to see. My apologies, but it uses your location, but you're able to send in a live storm report of what you're seeing. It goes right into the National Weather Service database, and it populates here on my radar, which is amazing. That's what all these like little icons on here. I mean, it really helps to really show us what we're seeing, but we are already looking at that freezing rain beginning to move into the region. Temperatures currently, if I can get that loaded up on my side, again, shows that freezing rain pretty much widespread, but temperatures, I mean, they've been falling all morning. When I started this morning, I know this is going to sound really minute, but we were at 35 down here at Webster Airfield. We're now down to 34. So these small degree differences really do make a difference. Let me update the latest freezing line for you, and that'll get. There we go. So, I mean, that freezing line is continuing to move to the south and east. That's what that blue line is. But look at that difference between Webster Airfield, 34, and then the St. Mary's County Airport at 30. I mean, you're going to see these small differences make a huge difference. I mean, that's why I've been saying the further inland you head, you're going to be looking at a higher ice threat. And I'm not talking like you need to head all the way out to like Central Virginia. I mean, you just move 5 to 10 miles inland from the Bay or the lower Potomac River, and you're going to be seeing that become the case. So freezing rain will continue to overspread the area today. I will just take you over to Futurecast. We'll be getting a new run of this here soon, so I'll be able to get you some new information. Let me get that loaded up over here for you all. So this was Future Radar initialized for 4. Let's get this out to just about where we are right now, right around 7. This registers rain, but the computer's having a hard time trying to pinpoint exact precipitation types. And actually, we'll stick with this. But this would largely be freezing rain, but it does show freezing rain's more likely right now the farther south you head. As you put this into motion, this really shows the freezing rain becoming widespread as we head towards 9, 10, and definitely by like 11 o'clock. And you can see these deeper colors in here, these deeper pinks, almost like an orange-like color. That is going to represent for you an area more moderate freezing rain. That's going to become the story as we head towards the lunch hour and into the afternoon. We really see that take over the region. And you can see, I mean, this model continues to show areas of more moderate freezing rain region-wide. It maybe tries to break it up as we head towards the evening hours, but we still continue even into the evening, those scattered freezing rain showers across the region. Let's get into the forecast. The biggest news story of this morning is that we do have a ice storm warning that has been expanded to include Calvert County now. So if you're just now waking up, just now joining, that change has been made. Yesterday you were under that winter weather advisory. Now under that winter storm warning, they're shown in that dark purple, as well as Dorchester County, and I believe it's Lancaster County down at the northern neck just below Westmoreland County. All these counties under that ice storm warning. This is where we could see near a quarter-inch of ice. My latest ice forecast that I updated this morning, taking a local look, I think up to a quarter-inch of ice could be possible, potentially locally or higher amounts of that deepest color across parts of most of Calvert County, really south of about Huntingtown, through Charles County, south of Waldorf. It includes Nanjing, it includes Hughesville, and then much of St. Mary's County to the north of Great Mills. I think that's going to be the region that could see the highest ice totals. Locally, higher ice totals could be possible, closer to maybe a third of an inch, but I think that's going to be more widespread and more of the exception than the rule. I think maybe up to a quarter inch is a nice ballpark range for many areas. You're talking about maybe a tenth to 2/10 of an inch of ice being possible outside of that. So all the way up towards Annapolis near DC, and then all the way down into southern St. Mary's County. Maybe up to a tenth of an inch as you head further north today. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of questions about, can I travel today? My first response to that is we're under an ice storm warning. The answer to that is no. You got to use a little bit of common sense with that. I don't know what other advisory would need to get issued to signify do not travel aside from an ice storm warning. But with that in mind, these will be the road impacts. They will be the highest the further south and west you head. So we've seen freezing rain impact the Richmond metro area almost all night. So you've been seeing freezing rain down there for several hours now. So major issues are going to be down that way. We will be looking at slick spots pretty much widespread across the region. On secondary roads, on main roads, really all over the place. I think that's going to be the case. And then slick spots are going to be possible on either side of that. So just be aware today that travel is not going to be recommended. If you do need to travel, take it slow. And the best advice I can give you is try to avoid bridges and overpasses. Those are going to be the first things to ice over. And you couldn't pay me enough money to go on the Thomas Johnson Bridge at noon today in the middle of this ice storm. Potential for maybe a little bit of wind. You couldn't pay me enough to do it. Just stay inside it. If you don't need to get out and travel, if it's not essential, stay home. Just watch a movie. It's the weekend. Really, what do you need to do on the weekend? Come on. In terms of power outages, scattered outages are going to be possible across our region. Right now, and I will update the SMECO website on my other screen over here to make sure we're good. I do not have any outages coming in just yet from anywhere in Southern Maryland. That map is still clear, which is great news. We could see that change as we head towards midday and afternoon, and I'll get up that storm timeline for you to really give you an idea of what we're looking at. This really breaks everything down, and people like this graphic. I like to make it because it really shows what we're looking at. Freezing rain is beginning to enter the picture. Southern areas are already reporting it. That's why we're now in that green phase. Once we hit those yellow and orange phases, that means that the ice is going to be widespread, and definitely by this afternoon, it could be moderate at times. So again, freezing rain will be likely through much of the day today, ending overnight. Winds will not be super gusty with this event, which is a saving grace and will really help to kind of knock down that power outage threat. But we could see 10 to 20 mile an hour gusts. You throw a quarter inch of ice with 10 mile an hour gusts, and maybe those tree limbs that have a lot of snow on them from the last couple of days. You could see some power outages. That's why we're talking about scattered outages. Travel difficulties likely all day today. So do keep that in mind. I see some of y'all commenting over here in the comments. So apologies, I'm not looking at the camera. Nothing in Newburgh according to April. Raining in Colonial Beach. Melissa, that's more like freezing rain, not just rain. Let's see. And there's there are some minute differences between I'm in Ridge and I see heavy rain and I'm in Ridge and I see nothing. So, the best I can show you is radar. Try to give you a better idea. Let me bring this over here so we can get back into it. I did not fix that. Okay. So we'll just get in this way. And I'll fix that for our next live update. But radar continues to show freezing rain moving in. It started already down to the south. That's where we kind of saw that move in first. And then this is kind of gradually working its way further north. So if we pause this right now, radar suggesting we have freezing rain falling through much of St. Mary's County already. This might not all be reaching the ground, but if it is, it will be freezing on contact. That report of rain in Colonial Beach, it's probably more like freezing rain. Brandon saying is not seeing much in not much ice in Leonardtown right now. It will take time to accumulate. I mean, this is more in the way of like later precipitation. If I were to take the precip typing off, in the summertime, these would be light passing showers. This is what you might call like a sun shower. So we're not looking at heavy precip rates just yet, which is great. And it looks like maybe we can get a little bit of a dry spot working in here. And that would be a saving grace for us. I think the ways we can get out of not a big time ice storm, but an impactful ice storm is we see temperatures warm up just a little bit. That would be good news. Precip that isn't as heavy, that would be good news. And then if we can get some of these dry spots to work in down from the south, that would be very good news. I don't believe that anyone would say that this forecast would bust if we don't see a 1/4 inch of ice. I mean, that would be a good thing. So I don't know many people that would be mad about that. But right now we are still pretty much on track to see for freezing rain today. Radar suggesting we're the area south of 231. When I say that, and that's a nice marker for me, people don't always know where that is. You see this orange stretch of road here that connects Prince Frederick to Hughesville. This is 231 here. That's the Benedict Bridge. So that if you just kind of like continue that, that kind of splits it nicely with lower southern Maryland and upper southern Maryland. So Prince Frederick to the plate of point south. Again, but radar is suggesting it's the areas south of 231 right now that are seeing freezing rain for the most part. And that, I think, will continue to be what we deal with today. Now, I know there's probably already questions coming in about what does Sunday look like. A couple of things with that. First, we need to get through today. And this happens a lot. People always want to look forward to the next day or the day after that. We need to see what happens today. It's kind of, and I used this analogy last night and this morning, and I think it's a good analogy. Let's say you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan, right? And you need to plan a victory party because you think your team's going to win the Super Bowl, and you need to get those details now. You can maybe get an idea and you think they're going to win, but you won't even need the party if you don't win. We got to play the game first to see if you're going to win. So we need to play the game today to see what actually falls, what accumulates to see what will happen for tomorrow or maybe even to Monday. There's a lot of unknowns, so don't get too ahead of yourself. We first need to get through today. I know a lot of people want to know if they should be all right to go to church services or just head out and about tomorrow to get some weekly errands done. I would assume that there would be some residual issues tomorrow, but it really will depend on what happens. If we see more ice unexpected, you're going to see high impacts for tomorrow. If we don't see as much freezing rain, you're going to see lower impacts for tomorrow. It really will depend on what happens today. And this isn't like snow, and this isn't like rain. Ice is a very hard thing to forecast because such minute differences throughout the entire column of air above your head will lead to such big differences. So this forecast isn't as cut and dry as some might want it to be. There is a lot of science that goes into these forecasts, and that's why, and this happens a lot with snow as well, and people say that, weathermen don't, the wrong 50% of the time. No one intentionally tries to lie or be wrong, but there are so many variables, and I promise you, looking at the data we have to look at, you would also struggle to make a forecast. So I can give you my best guess that tomorrow could have some issues, but we need to see what happens today. And radar continues to show freezing rain moving in. For those of you that are just now joining us, this is the storm timeline, but what I want to show you again, the biggest story right now, that ice storm warning has been expanded to include Calvert County now. So for those that yesterday were like, Charles and St. Mary's have this ice storm warning, but we don't, will we not see issues? Well, we've now seen that expanded. And yesterday we talked about it. I thought that it should have been expanded, and that indeed has happened. And that's really because this ice does seem to be, definitely coming. The highest threat of that's going to be south of D.C., really focused here on southern Maryland and in the northern neck. And yes, you should have gotten your Valentine Day gift by yesterday. I did not do that for Ryan, unfortunately. I'm sorry. It's weird because I'm more like the hopeless romantic in our relationship, but he actually has a Valentine Day gift for me, and I do not for him yet. That is on being busy with this for three weeks straight, and we're on our third weekend in a row. So I'm hopeful that we won't be doing this next weekend, though. Fingers crossed, because I am getting close to running on empty. Coffee is powering the forecast right now. I just finished brewing this, so and I like my coffee cold, so it'll be nice when I get off of here. We'll get a cool one. Do I think travel will be safe tomorrow? Again, it really depends on how tomorrow or how today kind of unfolds. Travel today, I can tell you, will be an issue if we come back over here to radar. Let's take it back inside radar here, inside of our programs. Freezing rain has really started to overspread a lot of the region. So really south of Prince Frederick, south of Hughesville, south of Charlotte Hall. Maybe where you are, you might not be seeing much at this moment. And maybe if you're down here getting close to Callaway, you're not seeing much at the moment. It really will depend on where you are. But the general idea is that we are seeing all of this precipitation from the south move northward. So I do think we are game on to see a potentially up to a 1/4 inch of ice across the region. So you do want to stay aware today. It's going to be very important that you do. You stay with us here at JB Weather for the latest information. Let's take a quick live look across the region at our traffic cameras to really get a sense of how things are going today. Over here in Callaway, Route 5, 246, you can see maybe the semblance of some rain falling, so that would be freezing rain for you again. Rain, freezing rain, they will look exactly the same to you. Let's head over towards Leonardtown. You can see the resemblance of some rain trying to fall out that way. Let's head over towards the Harry Nice Bridge, 301. Traffic, that car's still going. You could travel if you want to, but do be aware of issues, especially on these area bridges. Let's head over towards the Thomas Johnson Bridge, and this is just facing Town Creek right now, not actually the bridge. Let's head over towards 4 at 235. This is facing southbound here, I believe, if my awareness serves me correctly. Let's head down here towards this is 235 at 237. So we have rain beginning to work into the area. It's freezing rain. Again, you won't really be able to tell the difference at the onset because it's just going to look the same, but this will gradually accumulate ice as we head forward. So it is going to be important and that you stay tuned. There is a lot to look at today. And if we come back to the timing graphic to give you a good idea, current temperatures, current look at radar, but what I really want to show you is this graphic here. Really, I think this will answer 90% of the questions you all will have for me. Not that I don't want to answer them, but this really does break it down for you. Molly says she remembers the ice storm in 94. She was in high school. I remember having a lot of days off. We were without power for a long time. Yeah, that was right after my mom and older sister moved down here from New York. That was their first ice storm. And they can still tell you, all the memories they have from that. They were without power for a week. Thankfully, this should not be on that same level. Again, it's kind of like with hurricanes. We remember Hurricane Isabel, and we remember the ice storm of 1994, and we remember like Snowmageddon. We remember these big events. Well, we have the ice storm warning in effect. I don't think this will be one of those events that you're going to remember, like 5 years from now. You don't typically remember these events like this. You don't typically remember events like this of this caliber. People don't really talk about this. The 8 to 12 inch snowstorm we got back in 2014. So it's those types of things. So I wouldn't be too worried. Just stay inside. Maybe get some cookies going. Watch a movie. Let your devices charge up. That's a very good idea. Any chargeable devices, get those going, and just stay inside. I'll be here every 90 minutes with you, so you'll have a buddy with you if you're by yourself, or you can get the family surrounded by the phone or the iPad, and I'll keep you ahead of the story. My updates are going to be on Facebook. That's where most of you get my content from. Also on Twitter at JB_weather, on Instagram at JBweather, and on the website jbweather.net, and all my social links are shown over there as well. All of these live streams also broadcast over to YouTube. That's one of the lowest viewed social media places, but for people who have recently left social media but still want a way to get forecasts, I do try to keep the YouTube account updated, so at least with the live videos, so people can get those. And Beth is saying, yeah, starting to get some teeny tiny drops falling in the list. Let's head back into radar. And we're getting to the point of the storm where the forecast won't really matter much, the models won't really matter much. We really need to be looking at what is actually happening. And what I want to do is get my pen tool going here. You all know I like to draw on the screen. I'm a very animated and visual person. So right now, much of the freezing rain we're looking at is kind of falling. Oh, I need to actually select the tool. Is falling south of Prince Frederick, south of Hughesville. It's these areas below this line that have seen the ice begin. And again, it's just going to look like rain to you, and it's probably light at the moment. But it's going to be areas south of this line that you really have the biggest concerns for ice today. This is the region that could potentially see, a 1/4 inch of ice. To the north, we're talking probably more like 1/10 to 2/10. Ryan is a math teacher, and he hates I don't simplify that fraction of 1/5. But if I do that, then I feel like people don't. I don't want to discredit people, but like it's easier to understand when the denominators are the same for people, and that'll be the same case down here. Or that should be 2/10. That would be the reason why. So this is what we're looking at now. Coastal locations, and this really gets into detail here. So areas like right up, and I'm talking like literally right up along the water. Like, for example, I grew up in Lesbian, so I can like kind of speak to that a little bit better. It's kind of like at Seahorse Beach, you're going to be a little bit warmer there than you will be at the elementary school at Appeal. So, and we're talking literally right up along our waterways, areas all inside this white line. And this is exactly how I draw my coastal impact map. I get right in here, real close to the screen to make sure I'm getting everything. So areas right inside that white line really are coastal communities. These are the areas that might not see as much ice. So if you live right up along the bayfront or right up along the riverfront, you could be in a better situation than others because you won't be seeing it. You will be a couple of degrees warmer. And if I take this off the screen quick, you can see that be the case just even here in St. Mary's County. It's 34 Webster Airfield, 32 at Pax River, 30 though in Leonardtown. So those small differences, the small distances will make a big difference here with the forecast. So I'm going to get to work on this forecast. I'm going to get some updates out on social media for those that can't watch these live videos. Right now, these are going to be every 90 minutes, so the next one will be at 8:30. But once this really starts to get going in earnest this afternoon, these will probably be more like every hour, and eventually probably a little bit more just continuing coverage. I'll just be live with you all afternoon and evening to continue to keep you updated on the latest, kind of like what we did with the hurricane. So stay tuned, please. It's going to be a very active day. Quick look again at that storm timeline for you. Travel difficulties are going to be likely today. And Tammy, Sandgates, no, you will see ice. Everyone in Southern Maryland will see ice. You might not see as much ice, but you will probably still see impactful ice. Like anyone in Southern, all of these counties are under ice storm warnings. You do not want to be going outside today. It's not going to be a good situation. We've already had freezing rain begin to move into the region, and this will continue, I think, through much of the day today. So stay tuned. I will continue to keep you updated. In the meantime, I'm Forecaster John Bordash. Thank you so much for joining me. Keep it tuned right here to JB Weather.